Section 5.1, Example 3 on page 286, we have when you evaluate an exponential expression, you can simplify the expression before substituting values for the variables. So example 3 says, what is the value of 3s cubed t to the negative second power for s equals 2 and t equals negative 3? What the previous slide is telling us is that we can simplify this expression here with the negative exponent to get rid of the negative exponent, and then we can simply plug in these values for s and t. So without going through the entire process we went through in the previous example, we know that if we have a negative exponent, we can move it to the opposite position in the fraction. Right now everything's in the numerator, so we can move the t to the denominator, and now we have a positive 2 as the exponent. When we plug in 2 for s, we have 3 times the quantity 2 cubed, and when we plug in negative 3 for t, we get over negative 3 squared. Make sure that the negative is inside the parentheses because we are squaring the negative and the 3, not just the 3. Now this step right here you can technically skip if you can do this part without having to write it out, but I did want to write it out as a reminder. So we have our 3, and then 2 cubed means we multiply 2 times 2 times 2. Negative 3 squared is negative 3 times negative 3. Now that we've written it all out, we know that there's a 3 on the top and a 3 on the bottom, so those will become a 1 and we can get rid of them. There are 2 negatives, so those become a positive, and we're left with 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8 over 3. And then to rewrite this as a mixed number, 3 goes into 8 2 times, which gives us 6, and that leaves us 2 more to get to 8. So we have 2 2/3. Now they use the same method we did for the method 1. They simplify first, and then they plug in the values and get 2 2/3. However, they also have a method 2 where you could plug these values in first. However, eventually you still have to end up simplifying the negative 2 exponent and putting it on the bottom to create a positive 2, and you end up with the last steps being the same. So now I would like you to try number 5 on page 286 as the next you try. Evaluate each expression for r equals negative 3 and s equals 5. We have r to the negative 4th and s squared. I recommend fixing the negative exponent first and then plugging in these values.